This is Big Apple Sports with Kyle Basso.
The Yankees are back on top. The New York Rangers are the state
Here we go.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Big Apple Sports. So glad we've made it here to episode 3. That's right, Babe Ruth. We've made it to Babe Ruth. I'm a full believer in the phrase 3 times a charm, so that means buckle up, folks. You're about to be ready for the best episode of this podcast yet. There's so much to get into. I'm not going to waste any time, but first thing, real quick, I'm really trying to get this thing going here, get a following a little bit. We're getting more and more views every single week, so thank you guys so much. Please help me out. Hit that subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. Follow the Instagram at Big Apple Sports NY. Now let's get right to it. We got so much to go into. Later in the show, we're going to break down UFC 295. Live from Madison Square Garden. Prochazka versus Pereira. It should be a great fight, great card. And Jack's going to come on, and we're going to break that all down for you. See, I got my Giants jersey on. I'm always repping. Even in tough times, I'm always repping. Always. But Daniel Jones, out for the season, torn ACL. So sad. If you listen to episode 2, I warned the Giants not to trust Tommy DeVito as the next quarterback, but looks like we're tanking. Looks like that was the plan the whole time. We're tanking for Caleb Williams. Obviously, we didn't expect Jones to tear his ACL, but they wanted a high draft pick the whole time either way. And now with the injury, I mean, they owe Jones a lot of money. We don't know. But it seems like for sure that they're going to want to tank and move forward to try and get Caleb Williams, the star quarterback out of USC. Therefore, we will be sticking with the great, the legend, the superstar, phenom, future rookie of the year. One day we'll have his name end up in Canton. Tommy DeVito will continue to be under center for the New York Giants. But I don't want to bore you with too much Giants. I want to mix things up because we've been talking a lot of Giants lately. So let's start today's show on the other side of town with them New York Jets. You know, people were getting all excited about the Jets. Like, ooh, the Jets are coming back, folks. The Jets are good now. Even with Zach fucking Wilson, the Jets are good. I think that all got thrown in everyone's face Monday night. Huge reality check for the Jets on Monday as they got absolutely whooped by the Los Angeles Chargers, 27-6. And all these teams changing cities, man. I'm not used to the times yet. You got Vegas, you got Los Angeles. Oh my God, everywhere. There's a Seattle hockey team. Oh God, everything's different from when I was younger, man. Crazy. But yeah, the huge reality check for the Jets as they drop to an even 4-4. 4-4, not too bad, but hey, they just got embarrassed by an underwhelming Charger team that has not been as good as people expected. So, are the Jets good or are the Jets bad? That's the question because they seem very all over the place. I'm going to tell you this. When Zach Wilson, and might I add the putrid, the horrible, the disgraced NFL offense's level talent that is Zach Wilson, when he is your quarterback, your ceiling is only like this high. The Jets are the most bipolar team I've ever seen in my life. You got to look at their whole 53-man roster to really break this down, okay? Quarterback's the most important, but, you know, football's a team game. So let's look at the overall big picture instead of the small picture. The Jets' defense is outstanding. I know they just gave up 27 points to the Chargers. A lot of that was just from them making dumb mistakes. I literally lost in fantasy football because Herbert didn't even have any touchdown passes. And that's because of the Jets' elite secondary. The Jets' defense is fantastic. They're not just good, they are great. They are among the very best in football. They got everything from the stud Sauce Gardner playing corner to Quincy Williams on the D-line. So many other weapons as well supporting them. They've got good linebackers. They've got weapons all over the field on defense. And love or hate Robert Saleh. He came from San Francisco. He's a perfect defensive mastermind. And the Jets' defense is absolutely phenomenal. So, when you don't have an elite quarterback, you cannot win a Super Bowl. You need a great quarterback to win a Super Bowl. But to make a playoff, a great defense can sneak you into the playoffs, even with putrid quarterback play. That's why I say the Jets are good, the Jets are bad. I think the bipolar nature of the team, absolutely putrid offense, maybe one of the worst offenses in football. Literally on these boys' level of offense right here. They're almost as bad as the Giants' offense, okay? I hate to disparage my own team, but they're on that level. Their defense is literally like 49ers level good. 49ers level great. So when you have that imbalance, if I say they're good or bad as a team, that literally like great, bad, it puts them right in the middle. Puts them right in the middle of the pack. And so that means they'll be fringe for making the playoffs. I honestly think their defense is so good that they might win the playoffs. So they're not good. They're not bad. Their offense is absolutely a disgrace overall with their defense. They're a mid-level team. That's all they are. And they absolutely embarrass themselves on offense against the Chargers. Every time you think, ooh, Zach Wilson is actually making some clutch throws he actually looked kind of good against the Chiefs that one game. And then the game after that, he looked kind of on a couple throws. Like people are saying, ooh, Zach Wilson's starting to make some big throws. If you look at his last two games against the Giants and against the Chargers, Zach Wilson is clearly an awful quarterback. And if the Jets want to capitalize on this defense they have and give themselves a better chance to make a run into the playoffs, they could think about making a change. And now, head coach Robert Saleh was asked on the Michael Kay show if he would consider making a move to their backup, Trevor Siemian, who has starting experience, just because Zach Wilson has been so bad. And Robert Saleh, who's honestly, I've seen him on the Michael Kay show a lot. He seems like a great guy. He's usually very candid. He's also a very nice guy. He was not like himself when asked this question. He was very evasive when asked about benching Zach Wilson. He literally used the quote on the Michael Kay show, "I plead the fifth," on why he refuses to bench Zach and go to Trevor. So he refuses to do that. He's sticking with Zach and literally refused to even explain why. And that's really odd. I think, honestly, because he has no reason. He's just too scared to make the kind of change. He wants to back Zach Wilson because he's the second pick. And even though, honestly, it would be the smart thing for them to go to Trevor Siemian, they are sticking with Zach. At least, nice transition here, at least until future Hall of Famer, number 8, Aaron Rodgers returns from his torn Achilles. When will that be? Now, this has been a hot topic of conversation, and I'm excited to finally get into it with y'all. Any medical expert you ask would say Aaron Rodgers will not be back until next season. Anything sooner than that would be unprecedented recovery from a torn Achilles. All right, it's supposed to take like 10 months just for it to heal completely. And then all the time you need after that to get back in shape. Now, I'm no doctor. I'm sure things can move at different rates for different people. I don't want to speculate and play like Dr. Basso over here. But Aaron Rodgers continues to claim to the media and to fans and to just everyone out there that he is coming back this season. Let me tell you, Aaron Rodgers is absolutely loving himself in terms of spreading this narrative, appearing in front of the cameras every week on the sidelines, throwing footballs, moving around. He's just really trying to spread fuel to the fire that he is coming back. And I give him credit because I genuinely believe a lot of it, clearly what he's doing in front of the cameras and what he's saying on Pat McAfee and all the interviews he does is showmanship, trying to add hype that he's going to come back. But it's not all showmanship. You can tell that this guy genuinely has the motivation, and he's no spring chicken too. At 39, it's hard to really rehab from injuries like that. But he doesn't care. He's a hard worker. He is motivated, and you can tell he is genuinely doing everything he can to come back. And clearly, he's progressing, and he is ahead of schedule. So I give Aaron Rodgers credit for just having that drive and having that determination to come back. He's clearly all in on this thing with the Jets. He knows that with him combined with that defense, they are Super Bowl caliber. And all the other weapons they have on offense with Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, Lazard, and them boys. You can tell Rodgers is gunning to come back because he believes in what they're doing. The question just comes down to, is it realistic? As much as he's been spreading the narrative that he's coming back, he's been very vague in terms of giving us a specific timeline and when he thinks he'll be ready. Until this week. Just yesterday on the Pat McAfee show, which he comes on every week, Aaron Rodgers finally gave us somewhat of a timetable on when he expects to come back. And he said, quote, I guess Aaron Rodgers is from Old England or something, because he said, quote, it'll be a few fortnights. Anyone ever heard the word fortnights before? What even is a fortnight? Oh, yes, I'll be back in a few fortnights, mate. Essentially, fortnights, according to this article I have here from the great ESPN, fortnights means a fortnight is 2 weeks. So a few fortnights, like he's saying, would be 6 weeks. So right here it says, for the first time since tearing an Achilles tendon, Jets QB Aaron Rodgers hints Tuesday that he could be back on the field in 6 weeks. That would take him right to Christmas Eve, where the Jets play the Commanders on December 24th. Do you really think? I will tell you all listening to this podcast that even though I'm no doctor, there is no freaking way in hell that he gets back there that quick. That's what, like week 14, week 15, sometime during the regular season. That would be an unprecedented speed to return from an Achilles. It's supposed to take like an entire year, and we're talking that he's going to be back in like 3 months? Get out of here. Just get out here. I mean, before last game, he wowed people by throwing 55-yard passes, showing people that he can use his legs to step into long passes. Yes, he's clearly putting on a show, showing that he's made progress. But folks, there is a complete difference in terms of going into a game, in a game situation, game speed, being able to put as much pressure as you need on that Achilles to make throws, being able to take hits from defenses on that Achilles. It's completely different than just putting on a show for the cameras on the sidelines. It's completely different. And again, I give Rodgers credit. He's clearly pushing himself really hard. And I don't want to speculate. I don't want to rule anything out. Credit to him if he makes it back, but I really don't think it's going to happen. If I were to predict, I say Aaron Rodgers will not make it back this season. One funny thing that Rodgers was caught on camera talking to a player. He said he told Charger safety Darwin James that he intends to play in a few weeks. But then he downplayed it, saying a couple of days later it was tongue-in-cheek, but that's not a realistic timeline. And that James knew it was tongue-in-cheek because they know each other. They're represented by the same agency. So, I guess he's saying it's going to be 6 weeks would be more realistic. But honestly, more realistic to me would be next year. Maybe if the Jets happen to make a run, get to the second round of the playoffs or something, maybe he'd be ready then. But I think for him to just suddenly be ready in the regular season, just a few months after tearing your Achilles, I don't see it. You got to look at medical facts, you got to look at medical history, and how about this? You got to look at precedent, folks. All right, look at KD on the Warriors. He literally out like a season and a half. Every time we've seen someone with this injury, they're out like at least a season, maybe a season and a half. Tearing your Achilles is no joke. Now, I know it's his left one, so it's not the leg where you have to push off to make a throw. That's helpful. But still, when you have defend with a poor offensive line, when you have these giant defenders coming at you, take one good hit to Achilles that doesn't have all his strength back, and you're done for your career. So I think you got to play this smart if you're the Jets and you're the Rodgers. Do the medically justifiable thing. Don't bring him back before he's ready. And I'm very interested in seeing how it plays out. But hey, Rodgers thinks he's coming back. I guess who are we to doubt him, right? Maybe he'll prove the doubters wrong. But hey, again, my point, let's stick to realistic expectations, realistic medical timetables, everybody. I don't think Rodgers is coming back this year. All right, let's move on and talk some Yankees. Number one on the Yankees wish list this year. Obviously, we've talked the Yankees need lefty bats. They need a lot of changes if things are going to change next year, if we're going to get back to the playoffs. Number one on the Yankees wish list, of course, would be Cody Bellinger. That's what all the reports are coming out, that the Yankees have a decent chance to land Cody Bellinger. And all for it. Honestly, you got to get him. He's the perfect fit for this team. He can take advantage of that short porch in right field with his power. And he's also doesn't completely sell out and strike out to go for power. He's a very well-rounded hitter with contact ability. This year, 307. Last year with the Cubs, 307, hitting 300 in today's game is a sight to see. Makes me so happy to see someone actually hitting 300. 307, 26 homers, 97 RBIs in 130 games. So if he's playing a full 162, he's definitely over 30 and 100. Maybe 35, 110. Probably could have kept hitting over 300 too. He's a perfect fit. He's a perfect fit. He's who everyone wants. And I really hope the Yankees can snag him. Obviously, there's been some rumors about a Juan Soto trade. I'm starting to think that's not realistic. There was a false report out that the Yankees were in contact. Then a new report came out that they were never contacted them. With the other options available, I don't see the Yankees giving up. To get Soto, you'd have to give up like it's a Minguez, like a Volpe, somebody huge, someone huge. And I really don't think the Yankees would be willing to do that in this time. And even if that might frustrate fans, that the fans want us to make a big move now, I think you got to pump the brakes and be a little more realistic. We got Bellinger to go after. We can go after some other pieces. Maybe if we're willing to spend money, we can enter the lottery for Ohtani. I say the lottery because every team's going to want him. So, hey, we've got the money. Let's see what happens there. But Cody Bellinger, definitely the most realistic target. So that's where we should be focusing on right now. If anything, I feel like Juan Soto might end up just being kept for another year by the Padres. And guess what? He'll be a free agent next year. So maybe we can just make some improvements this year, build on that, take a step forward. And then next year, when we want to build on that even more, that's when we can sign Soto and not have to give up anything for him once he's a free agent next year. But we'll see how it plays out. But one thing that's really important to me is accountability for this team about the abysmal season they put us through last year. And Brian Cashman, just a few days ago, made a lot of people very upset, including myself, in this interview. Folks, listen to this blasphemous interview that Brian Cashman gave, defending the team after last year. Literally, Cashman said, quote, "I'm proud of our people and proud of our process. It doesn't mean we're firing on all cylinders. It doesn't mean we're the best in class. But I think we're pretty freaking good, personally." Brian. Brian. Come back to me, dog. You think you're pretty freaking good after almost finishing in last place, almost finishing with a losing record if it wasn't from one decent run from 20-year-olds. The Martian had to come save us. We had no shot at the playoffs for like 3 months. Our offense was one of the worst offenses in the league, and you're saying that you're pretty freaking good? We don't even have any lefty bats. Who's our best lefty bat? Austin Wells? Rizzo? Is Rizzo's head back together? He's getting old. What lefty bats do we even have? Jeez, please sign Cody Bellinger. Please do something. And I'm sure they're going to go after it. But don't defend last year. Don't defend the process. Don't defend that we're doing good. Because we're not. We're so bad. Right here, it says Cashman pushed back on the criticism that the team is too analytically driven. People talk about how we're analytically driven, right? Cashman said. We have the smallest analytics department in the AL East. We have the largest pro scouting department in all of baseball. No one is doing their deep dives. They're just throwing bull and accusing us of being run analytically. To be said or guided, we're being guided by analytics as a driver is a lie. More BS. If you look at the Yankees' moves, the people they brought in, the amount of analytics guys they had in their staff, the analytical coaches they've hired. Dylan Lawson had a clear analytical background. Aaron Boone is clearly following analytical patterns. All right? Everything they've done has been analytics. Now here we have Cashman trying to defend his own ass, saying that they don't rely too much on analytics, and that they clearly do. Will that change? I really, really hope so, because it needs to. I think the best way to run an organization is with a sprinkle of analytics and then mostly just using your mind. Scouting. Who's the best fit for my team? Who hits for a good average? Who drives in runs? We don't need to just be using analytics for everything. Find the balance. All right? It doesn't need to be... Analytics makes things too complicated. It doesn't need to be too complicated, folks. Okay? Just the Yankees, their pitching is okay. Maybe add one more pitcher, get some lefty bats. That's it. Then the bullpen is fine. You have a more balanced offense if you get some contact hitters and lefty bats, and you have enough pitching. Boom. It's that simple. Stop making it more complicated than it needs to be with all the WRX plus WAR, BABIP, whatever the hell. All right, you're just going to confuse yourself. Hard hit rate percentage, ballpark factor. Geesh. Just pick the good players and get rid of the bad ones. For Christ's sake, don't strike out. Put the ball in play. Hit for contact. Hit for power. It's a simple game, folks. Baseball is a simple game. You hit the ball. You field the ball. You throw the ball. You run around bases. Okay? That's it. And hopefully the Yankees will distance themselves from analytics and they'll get the memo. Very upset at Cashman for defending an organization, saying that they're, quote, freaking good, when we've won one World Series in the past. Let me do the math. In the past 23 years, we've won one World Series. We haven't won a World Series in like 15 years. I was a 10-year-old kid when we won. I can barely remember it. I'm going to end it like this, saying I really hope the Yankees can fix things. I gotta calm down. I'm gonna calm down, lighten myself up, and bring in Jack to talk some UFC. Let's do it. UFC 295 is next Saturday, November 11th, live from right here at the Big Apple, New York City, Madison Square Garden, this Saturday at 10 p.m. Pereira versus Projaca. I'm so hype about it, and because this is Big Apple Sports, the Big Apple Sports podcast, we are going to talk some UFC for the first time ever on this show, as the card this Saturday is right here in our home state. So we bring in fellow UFC nerd Jack is back on the show. Jack, are you excited for UFC, bro?
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed about John Jones, but I'm looking forward to the card because Prohaska is an exciting fighter.
Yeah, John Jones unfortunately dropped out. Sorry, I lost my voice, everybody. I've been coughing, losing my voice. Oh, it's bad. But
I also
yeah.
like the co-main event, Pavlovich versus Aspinall. Heavyweights should be pretty good.
Yeah, Pavlovich, Aspinall. Yeah, we got that big Russian guy against. I don't know too much about Aspinall's work, but he seems impressive.
Yeah, he's got good punching power. I saw him a couple times. He fought on a bunch of the London cards.
Yeah, so me and Jack are gonna make our picks. We're gonna give you all our predictions for every single UFC fight, and Jack has agreed to play me in a contest. We're gonna keep track of our record and place bets, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So before we get to our picks, Jack, do you want to give me some thoughts on just what you think of the card? I know you said even though with no John Jones, it's going to be a really good card, and these are a pretty good top two fights. And guess what? They're both title fights.
Yeah, it's a pretty good card.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have too much depth, but once we get to those last two fights, it's going to be worth it. And hey, even the third fight, two quality ladies fighting in Andrade and Dern, I'll take that too. We should be at some quality Brazilian jiu-jitsu in that one. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I actually like one of the prelims too, Gordon versus Madsen. I've seen those guys fight a couple times. That should be a good fight.
Gordon versus I don't know that one, but in my research when I was making my picks, I'm like, that seems like a pretty good one. No cap. I'm looking forward to that. But all right, are you ready to get to our picks?
Yep.
All right, we're going to let you all know who we think is going to win for this UFC card live from Madison Square Garden. If you have like $1 million, you can go. At least $500. So expensive. But if not, just enjoy it from home. So we know not many people, including us, will be aware of the lower level fighters on the undercard. So if you're down, Jack, we could just read through our picks for those really quickly and only get into more detail when we get to the main card. You want to do it like that?
Yeah. Oh, one more thing. We should so we're doing the bets contest, right? Whoever gets the most picks correct. Should we tell them what the prize is for the winner?
Have we decided?
Yeah. I thought we said we're gonna do
Yankee
a
tickets.
Yankee ticket for the winner of the contest.
The winner gets a free Yankee ticket so they can save all their money for hot dogs or beer or whatever the case may be.
Yes.
So expensive. So this is going to be a valuable prize for whoever wins. So the only thing we had left to decide was the length of time. I was thinking since this one, we should do it by year. Unless that's too long, then we could do like 6 months. But since there's only 2 months left in this year, this first one will be really, really quick. And then the other ones will be longer.
Yeah, we could discuss that later. We could also do through March since baseball season won't have started yet.
Oh yeah, let's do through this one through March, and that's what 6 months.
Yeah,
it's
and
like
then we can just restart it again once baseball season.
Yeah, and then after that it'll be the other half, and so it'll be basically around every 6 months. That's perfect.
Yeah,
all right,
that's
so
good.
This one officially goes through March, so there'll be a lot of time to make up ground, like in a baseball season. Wasn't enough for the Yankees, but whatever.
All right, so
Right.
the first prelim is Steve Urseg, Australian guy, against Alessandro Costa. It's a flyweight fight.
For that one, I got Urseg.
Oh, I picked Costa.
Costa. All right. I love when we're separate. It's gonna be so much more fun when we're separate. We can battle each other just like the fighters are battling each other in the octagon. Let's
Yes.
go. What do you got next?
Dennis Buzukja versus Jamal
Oh yeah.
Emrich.
Now you went back to the bottom. That's the very first fight of the night. Who do you got?
I got Jamal Emrich in that one.
I got Jamal Emmers too. Emmers, I've not
Yeah.
only I've heard of him before, massive betting favorite.
Yeah, I've heard
Massive
of him.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next fight, Kevin Borges versus Joshua Van.
Ooh. Interesting one. I don't really know too much about either of them. I have Van.
So do I. I went with
Yep.
the American. I haven't heard of enough good Canadian fighters
Yeah, no, honestly.
besides George St. Pierre, but he's like 1 in a million.
Yeah.
Next fight is Castaneda versus a Korean guy, Kyung Ho Kang.
I thought it was Kang, but yeah, I picked Kang, Kong, however you say it.
So did I actually.
Yeah, he looks like a beast.
Yeah.
Kong the Conqueror.
Next fight, Madsen versus Gordon.
I got Mr. Madsen.
Dang, we're picking all the same people. I have Madsen too.
I got so hyped. The first one was different. And now here we go. Copying my picks.
Sidikov versus Borshchev.
Yep. So this fight begins the regular preliminary card instead of the quote early preliminary card, whatever the hell the difference is. But in this random fight, I have got Sadikov.
Wow, he's from Azerbaijan. I picked Borshchev.
Kazakhstan?
Nah, Azerbaijan.
Is that a country?
Yes, it is.
What about the other guy? Where's he from?
Borshchev is from Russia.
All right, so in this really random fight, we have opposite picks. That'll make it that it's gonna add some intrigue to it.
I'm a big fan of the Russian fighters. They always seem to dominate.
Oh yeah, Russians are not. They come from a different breed, bro. Like growing up in
Yeah.
Russia in the cold and
Especially
it's
those
tough.
guys from Dagestan.
Oh yeah,
Rebechki versus Aliyev.
I'm gonna go with Aliev because he's undefeated.
All right, I went with the Polish guy, Rebechki.
Yeah, 18-1. Looks like he'll probably dominate with all that experience, but it's fun. I like picking underdogs. Let me tell you this, Jack.
Oh wait, so Aliyev is undefeated and Rebechki's 18-1.
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting fight.
Yeah, no, but I think experience is definitely. I don't know the odds though. I can't see the odds from this screen.
There are no odds on the fight yet. They haven't even updated them because it just got added to the card.
Oh, I found Rebechki's a 165 favorite.
Oh, that's still pretty close.
I figured because like experience is huge. But you know, my strategy, well, not my strategy, but a common trend for me during these picks, I have a lot of underdogs tonight. I have a lot of underdogs. So give me Aliev. I'll just stick with the theme.
All right, and then the next fight was Ricci versus Godinez.
I have Ricci.
Godinez for me.
Ooh, it's starting to separate itself now.
This is starting with the main card now, I believe. Lopez versus Sabatini.
All
Who
right.
you got on that one?
This one, I've got Lopez. He's a slight underdog, but he's got a bigger reach, and I think a reach advantage is huge. So give me Lopez.
I took Lopez too.
Yeah, Lopez is, I think, one of those trendy underdogs.
Just because he's from Brazil. That's the only reason.
I like Brazilian fighters.
Next fight, Benoit Saint Denis versus Matt Frivola. I've actually seen both these guys fight before.
That's a good one. I think I've seen them too. These guys are monsters.
I took Frivola in that one.
Ooh, let's go, Jack. Main card difference. Bang, boom, boom. I've got Saint Denis. Saint Denis has only lost one fight in his entire UFC career. I'm going with the numbers, baby.
Yep. All
All
right,
right, the
Jessica
ladies.
Andrade versus Mackenzie Dern.
The ladies.
This is actually a pretty good fight. This is like a sleeper fight right here.
Yeah, Mackenzie Dern. Fun to watch. You know what
She's
I mean?
got great jiu-jitsu.
If you know what I mean. Oh, that's
I
great
went
jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
I went with Mackenzie Dern on that one.
I also went with Mackenzie Dern, who actually is a pretty big favorite in the
Yeah.
lines.
I was surprised by that though, because Andrade is a beast.
Yeah, but she has a lot of title experience, but she's also really been win some, lose some throughout her career.
Yeah. Next fight, co-main event.
The
Gas, gas
co-main
fight right here.
event of the evening, folks.
Tom
Pretty,
Aspinall versus Sergey Pavlovich. The lines on this are basically even.
it's really close.
Yeah, Pavlovich is 18-1, Aspinall's 13-3.
Yep. Don't sleep on this fight, folks. It's a great fight.
A lot of power. Both these guys have a lot of knockout power.
Yep.
I went with Pavlovich in this one.
Don't expect this one to go past the first round.
Yeah, they're
Knockout
both big
artists.
heavyweight strikers.
Yep. And I going with in this fight, like I said, I picked a lot of underdogs. He's only a slight underdog in this one, but give me Pavlovich. I think this guy is just a beast. This giant Jack Russian guy, built different. He's gonna get it done.
Yeah, I also think he has more wrestling skills than Aspinall.
So you picked the same.
If it goes there, yeah, I picked Pavlovich.
Gotcha.
I don't expect him to be on the ground much though.
No, I really don't think this one's going past the first round. These guys are monsters.
All right, and then
Absolute monsters.
the main event, who you taking in the main event?
The main event. It's time. Let's go. I think this is going to be a great fight. I think they did a great job saving this card from disaster because this is such a great fight. I loved watching Projaca fight Glover. That was like one of the best fights I ever watched. I like Projaca. As talented as Alex Pereira is, Projaca is just one of those guys that are built different. He's resilient. He's got so much power. And tell me if I'm wrong. I think they can both wrestle, but I think even though Pereira might be slightly the better wrestler, Projaca is good enough at wrestling to compete with him, and he's got way more punching power. So give me Projaca.
I gotta disagree with you there, Basso.
Mhm.
I'm taking Pereira, and it's for one reason. You mentioned it, the wrestling. Prohaska's like a karate style guy. He has almost no ground game from what I've seen in his fight so far. And I think Pereira is going to be able to take it to the mat, beat him that way. Prohaska has more knockout power. So he could win the fight by knockout, more likely than Pereira to do that.
The way he got Clover at the last second, I was like, that is just insane.
Yeah, did you see his knockout against Dominic Reyes, the spinning elbow? That was one of the dirtiest knockouts I've ever seen.
The Projaca knockout on O'Reyes.
Yeah, Dominic Reyes.
Oh, we
I
were
think it was
watching that. We were watching that.
2021, maybe.
We were
2
watching.
years ago.
Insane. That's why I've seen this Projaca guy too many times to bet against him. I know Pereira's the favorite. I know everyone thinks he's just too good to lose this because of his defense, especially. But I'm sorry, Projaca. It is every time we think he's gonna lose, he just has this a crazy knockout. This guy is built different. Projaca is gonna win.
Yeah, I think Prohaska has a significant weight advantage too, which is something to consider.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have the breakdown up here. So
Because Pereira used to fight at Adesanya's weight class, 185. So
oh, he moved up. He moved
yeah,
up. But this isn't his first time moving up, is it?
nah,
Oh.
it's his second fight in this division, I think.
And the first one was against
Błachowicz, right?
Blaho. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And he knocked off Polish Power, which is insane. But people
That's
might be
why
getting
he's the favorite in this one, I think.
yeah, people might be getting too hype about one fight. But breaking it down for the people, Pereira has a 1 inch height advantage, 6'4" to 6'3". But Projaca has got a 1 inch reach advantage, and he's 5 years younger.
Hmm.
And 29-3-1 versus 8-2. I know I'm picking a lot of underdogs tonight, but like I've been saying all night, I love experience. And that is a huge difference in experience for Prohaska. And he's 5 years younger.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and one
Gotta
mistake
give
of
a shout out
what
to Pereira though, from Danbury, Connecticut.
Shout out to Pereira from
Teixeira
Danbury.
MMA and Fitness. He fights out of Teixeira's MMA and Fitness gym.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I've always loved Pereira because he's from Danbury. He's Glover's protege too. I bet he's going to be in the quarter with him.
Yep.
And as much as I want to be right with my picks because I love being right, it's good. I don't think I'm going to be able to root against Pereira because I like him too much. But predictions and wants are different.
Mhm.
I think he's going to lose.
Yeah, you know what sucks though? It was
What?
supposed to be Jones against Stipe, right?
Yeah.
And Stipe's not in the interim fight.
Don't ask me why Stipe is not still fighting.
So
if I were to guess, I'd say that was his choice. But wouldn't you want to have something to keep yourself in shape so that when you finally fight John Jones, you're not rusty?
yeah, but now the thing is, like, it's an interim title fight, right? So what's Dana gonna do? Is he just gonna throw it out and have Jones fight Stipe still, and then the interim is gonna fight the winner of that? Or is he gonna have the winner of this interim fight Jones when Jones comes back? Or is he gonna have Stipe fight for the interim title again? Because who knows how long Jones is gonna be out.
Yeah,
But
I think Jones has a long recovery. So I
yeah,
think they might make the interim winner fight Stipe in hopes that Stipe becomes the interim winner. And then you set
yeah,
up a fire unification bout.
it's all crazy.
But
Plus, Stipe's been out for so long, like 3 years now.
it's
The last
I
year, right?
can't believe that Stipe is still fighting. I'm really
Yeah,
surprised he didn't still want to fight.
yeah.
But yeah, it should be a fun card. And any final thoughts on it, sir?
No, but I did want to give a shout out to Paul Felder, who recently entered the USADA testing pool again. So we might get a comeback from him.
Breaking news,
All-time
folks.
UFC commentator also.
Breaking
Legend.
news. Every time Joe Rogan's out, we always see Paul Felder right there, ready to go. And guess what? Paul Felder is back, returning to the UFC, folks. It looks like you don't get drug tested for no reason. Paul Felder is coming back. Let's go. Legend, right? Legend.
Yeah, his last fight, his retirement fight against Dan Hooker was awesome. So I was surprised he retired after that.
I
So
remember that, but I could have sworn he got
coming
killed.
back.
I could have sworn he got killed.
Nah, it was a close fight.
It was.
I think
All
it
right.
won fight of the year in like 2021 or something.
Gotcha. So yeah, I am hella looking forward to this UFC 295 right here in the Big Apple at Madison Square Garden this Saturday, November 11th. I'm gonna miss it. I'll be away on a cruise, but I'm so
You
excited to
could probably get it for free on the boat.
I hope they show it. Imagine if they show it at like O'Shea's
Yeah, it could
and
be
then
a
we're
good
all
M.
there getting hype. Let's
Yeah.
go. I can't wait to watch. Thanks for doing this,
So,
Jack.
yep. Thanks for having me, Basso.
Be easy, bro. By the way, we're gonna do this every month, every UFC pay-per-view. Jack will be back to give us more picks.